Hey everybody! Welcome to Let's Look at Super Comboman. This is, well, subtitled Struggles Adventures. It is beat 'em up. It's going to be available on Steam either today or tomorrow, depending on when you're watching the video. It is published by Adult Swim Games, who you may know for Super House of Dead Ninjas, Super Puzzle Platformer Deluxe, Volgar the Viking, Fist Puncher, etc., etc. And a lot of those games I really liked. I have to say, not to, to avoid burying the lead, let's put it a little bit more elegantly, I got some problems with Super Comboman. I've had a decent amount of fun over the hour or so that I've spent with it, and admittedly a lot of that hour has just been kind of coming to terms with the combat system. Not that it's necessarily unique, but maybe finicky is a word that I might use to describe it. But yeah, it's okay. 15 bucks available on Steam, as mentioned. 10 bucks if you still have time to pre-order it. But we'll talk about some of the bones that I have to pick with this game. One of them is not the presentation style. I really like the presentation style and how, the fanny pack kind of zips and unzips to introduce the levels here. I think that's a cool way to show this off. And, it has a little bit of an old school influence here. The story is told in kind of a very cartoony way, as you might expect, considering, it's published by Adult Swim. Not that necessarily has anything to do with it to begin with. But I'm playing with the Xbox 360 controller here, and I'll talk a little bit about the controls as we go along here. But let's just talk about the very basic mechanics here. We're playing as Struggles. Struggles is the name of a character. Also, like a noun, I suppose. Or also a verb, anyway. Doesn't really matter. We're here to talk about video games, not nerd grammar, right? X button is going to be our, light attack. Y button is our smash attack. And that does a lot more damage. It's also a setup for combos. You can see our smash meter down there in the bottom left. When that fills up, we can do a smash attack, which is illustrated by those pink attacks that I'm doing there. And in doing these, we do more damage and again, set up kind of combos. We also have a parry that we can do. And I'll try to get this, if I can just jump out of here. Oh, I'm getting pooped on here. We also have a shield. My dash is not working properly here, from what I can tell. Yeah, I'm doing really badly so far. But we also have a shield that we can use. But instead of using a shield, you want to use a parry, I think, as often as possible, which is what I just did right there. Basically, if you tap the direction that the enemy is attacking you from at the same time that they attack you, then you find yourself parrying. Should I not be able to go through here? We should be able to... Oh, we can break that right here. Okay. So, we can do parry, light attack, heavy attack, basically. It's every beat 'em up that you've played over the past few years. And I'm not trying to insult it and say, it's rudimentary or something like that. The beat 'em up formula, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. What is a little problematic is that I find the controls kind of not great. I find myself getting stuck to things a lot. I find animations sticking a lot, as that enemy's animation is right now. I found myself in that exact same position many times. I know there's a great opportunity for a your mom joke there, but yeah, animation sticks sometimes. And I've been stuck to the walls. You kind of stick to the walls when you do a jump anyway. The animations don't always seem to match the controls, and they don't always seem super responsive either. So, if you compare this to something like Foul Play felt responsive and tight. It's very difficult for me to critique controls because I'm not a game designer or anything like that, or a game developer. So I don't know. I can't really say what the problem is. Again, this is weird. I can't really say what the problem is, or I can't articulate it properly, except to say that it doesn't feel right. And I think that's going to be something that a lot of people are going to say. I know Josh played this at PAX last year and said that something about the controls just didn't totally feel like they were all there, if that makes sense. So this is a little extra HP here. So yeah, that's my biggest problem so far. I find myself parrying when I'm trying to move, or moving when I'm trying to parry, or there's weird kind of decisions like not being able to shield in the air, or it just doesn't feel responsive sometimes. Sticking to walls is a little weird as well. But you do get used to it to some extent, but it's a harsh kind of situation to get used to the first time you end up experiencing. So it's called Super Comboman. You might, be forgiven for assuming that the game, sometimes the camera does this too. This is actually a great kind of illustration of a lot of the problems I've had with the game so far. Scripting sometimes can be really jacked up, as you can see right there. Also, there's this announcer in the background, and I find him kind of annoying. Every time you get another 5-hit combo, it would be snazzy, tuna flavor, and it's I get what you're going for with this kind of zany vibe. But anyway, yeah, scripting errors, not errors, but scripting hangups as well. Times when you have to do something specific to get past a certain area, and then I've done it and it doesn't activate. That barrel that you have to explode to get to that one blacksmith in Dark Souls 2, in the Lost Bastille, I guess. Kind kind of feels a little bit like that sometimes. But anyway, there's some positive stuff going on here as well. One of the things that's positive is oh man, just please let me out of here. I should really parry out of that. It's not an easy game. It is, you know, probably for some people, and the AI oftentimes ends up hitting itself, well, you know, hitting other of its companions there. But yeah, the one thing I do like about the game is it's not just, you know, light attacks and heavy attacks. There is actually a little bit more of a complicated input system going on there. We'll just let this guy, god damn it, we have a certain number of lives. We're gonna run out of them here. But yeah, there's like a fighting game style system, so there are some moves that I've learned. That one kind of whiffed, unfortunately. But I can do like a down B attack here, and that is like a dive kick, which helps out a lot. And I think I also, maybe I can see my moves on the fly here. Seriously, it's very weird, but like when I press the start button, it takes a second for it to actually respond. Like, okay, 3, 2, 1, press. Okay, that time it actually worked, but sometimes it just doesn't feel right. I don't know if you have the same issue if you're playing on keyboard, or if it's just a controller issue, but like sincerely, it's nagging is maybe the way that I would describe it, to keep it, you know, polite and diplomatic. This is one of those games, you know, I covered Action Hank recently, and I said the controls are tight enough that when I die, it doesn't feel like it's the game fucked me. It feels like it's my own fault. Oftentimes, when I get like stuck in combos and shit like that, I feel like I'm being kind of, you know, fucked by the game. There's some weird stuff, and I'm like nitpicking a little bit here, but like, whenever this guy hits me when I'm in my shield, he says the same thing. Like, if he hits me, he says like, hey, look at that guy, he's stupid. But when he hits me and I have my shield on, he says, ha, look at that guy, he's stupid. I'm not taking any damage here. Maybe this is like the most nitpicking criticism of all time, but like, why are you so happy with yourself? And that just, I mean, it gives me a window to kind of do some attacks here, which is nice, but it feels weird, man. It just feels weird. There's something about this, and you know, beat 'em ups, they have their own problems to begin with. Like they got enough problems. Let's put it that way. That's maybe the best way I want to put it. What's the common complaint about beat 'em ups? It's double damage for us right there. They're repetitive, right? You get the same thing in Super Comboman. Even the best beat 'em ups, you know, Castle Crashers. I really liked Foul Play. It's a little repetitive. And you get that in this too, but there's also some nagging kind of control issues, and you know, it's really frustrating. And when you well, we'll have a chance to talk about it in just a second. There's just some nagging weirdness is what I'm trying to get at. Not being able to shield in the air is super weird. Anyway, I was talking about the combo system like ages ago. It's called Super Comboman. You might expect that there would be like a big focus on combos. To some extent there is. Like, you have these perks, and perks only activate when you hit a certain number of combos, but combos are kind of a focus in all beat 'em ups. So I'm not knocking Super Comboman for like not having commitment to its, you know, design philosophy or something like that. I'm just saying, you know, Super Comboman, you are not Super Comboman. Super Comboman is like the name of a like an action hero or a, you know, a comic book character that you have some affinity for. So I am you know, just gonna kill this big mod here, or big mob, I should say. When it said perk activated, that's what I was talking about, where you need like a certain number of, a certain combo size to actually activate perks. So I activated a perk that, it's deactivated now because my combo has run out, but it would give me a little bit of HP back whenever I parried, which is pretty important because I oftentimes find myself on low health in the game. And you know, it's always easier to feel vindicated when you have mixed opinions on a game when you're actually not bad at it, but unfortunately that's not the situation we're in. I'm bad at this game, so I do open myself up, and legitimately this could be the case, but I open myself up to the criticism that, oh, you just like, you don't understand it. To some extent you might be right, but at the same time, you know, I know what I like, I know what I don't like. So this is what I'm going to talk about when it comes to like scripting stuff. So it's not your traditional beat 'em up in that you just kill all the enemies on the screen, always at least, and then open up the next path. Instead, there's these buttons. So you got to hit these buttons. Loosen up my buttons, baby, because they keep fronting saying what they're going to do to me, but I ain't seen nothing, you know? So there's like these mattresses or like trampolines here, and we have to kick enemies into them or use our smash attack to hit enemies into them and bounce them into the button. Which is great in theory, but I've oftentimes found myself just like almost endlessly spawning waves of enemies and just failing to kick them where they need to go. Sometimes it works out, and when it works out, it feels great, right? You feel like it's a really cool idea. When it doesn't work out, it's the most frustrating thing in the world. See, like there, I punched him in here. he didn't get enough velocity, I suppose, so he doesn't actually end up triggering that. And, you know, same thing here. We're probably not going to be able to get him through because I think he's going to die on the electric fence. Oh, no, we accidentally parried him to death there. Okay, so let's try this again. Now, do something like that. There! Oh, that one didn't work, even though it looked like it worked. So another enemy should come down here. Any second now. These are also time-based. Like, you get rewards for moving faster, so... I actually didn't check over here when I was playing off camera. Oh, it's just a different path up here. Oh, it's the same path we took in? Weird. There might be some kind of secret down there. Yeah, so, you know, I botched that. I guess I have to go back up here and, like, kill this guy to spawn another enemy. And this is, again, you know, kind of what I mean when I talk about, like, strange scripting stuff. Like, I don't totally get it, but I guess we have to go through this section again because I had the audacity to not hit that guy perfectly. It's a little frustrating. See, there we go. That one seemed to me like it was actually less of a direct hit than, you know, what we had earlier, but... for whatever reason, it worked. And we got killed, and we have 1 life left. All right. Oh, but we did hit this checkpoint. For everything, you know, negative that I said about the game, I don't think it's terrible. I just think there's some stuff that it's hard to get used to, and there are some, like, nagging concerns. You know, I played some bad beat-em-ups in my day. This is not as bad as the Ass Kickers, you know, that came out in 2011. I think I named it my worst game of 2011, and, you know, justifiably so. It was terrible. And again, no disrespect to the developer, but you gotta call something like that as you see it. Super Comboman just, it doesn't feel necessarily on the same level as, you know, other games in the genre that have come out fairly recently. Like, Double Dragon Neon was super cool. You know, I said Foul Play was like the best beat 'em up since Castle Crashers, and I still truly believe that. I think it's a lot of fun. And it had online multiplayer, so it has some things that this game doesn't have. I would also, you know, not to bring up the old, no. Well, we can choose a different level and start up in it. But not to bring up the old, you know, common saying of like, hey, the food at this restaurant is terrible. Oh, yeah, and what small portions, too. But I'm bad at the game, as you can see, but I've already unlocked like 30% of the achievements or 20% of the achievements in, like an hour of play. I guess an hour and a half now, but I haven't unlocked any over the course of this episode. We can do our training quickly, I guess, and maybe I can actually beat a level. I'm not gonna necessarily show this. The comic book stuff, you know, the interludes are fine, but I don't know if they're a major selling point. But anyway, yeah, it's not only does it seem like I'm not necessarily having the most fun, but it seems short too. And maybe I'm mistaken in that. Maybe I just did really well on my tutorial levels and unlocked some achievements that I shouldn't have gotten yet. But, yeah. So, you know, I'm not saying boycott, I was going to say Action Hank. I'm not saying boycott Super Comboman. I'm not saying it's the worst game ever made. But there are some beat-em-ups that I would recommend in its stead if you haven't played them yet. Just kind of some weird mechanics, like using, you know, buttons to spawn your own enemies. It's original-ish, but also kind of, like, not really that engaging, I guess. I hate the fact that I've had to go back to the tutorial mission to actually beat one while talking at the same time. Mind you, you know, I did beat that level that we played. It did take me a few times, though, I'll admit. He only takes damage in the air, okay. Yeah, I did, I beat that level that we just lost to off camera, so I think it's just a byproduct of, like, you know, playing and talking at the same time. And when you actually get, like, some satisfying stuff going on, like when you do a satisfying, like, fighting game style combo, it does feel good. Like if we, like, kick him up in the air and then do a dive kick and then launch him up in the air again. Like, it's got some, like, Devil May Cry or Dynasty Warriors style satisfaction to it. At the same time, you have to work to get there, and it's kind of few and far between, especially when you get mobbed by, like, multiple enemies at the same time. And I can't stress enough, like, I understand the aesthetic that the game is going for, but when the announcer is just like, smizzle all the time, I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, the first time it's kind of like, it's funny. The second time it's like, is this it? Like, all he says is smizzle? Well, no, not all he says is smizzle. You know, you remember the classic Beatles song, all you need is smizzle. No, but it is something that gets repeated a lot, or like, I forget some of the other stuff, like, super is one of them for sure. Like, you know, it gets grating after a while just hearing it over and over. And it's that, you know, it's funny, but when you hear it over and over, it's kind of annoying. Same thing for, like, those enemies that go like, look at this guy, he's stupid. The first time is like, oh, that's kind of cute. And then every time after that, it's like, okay, I get it. Let's not. All right. And I can't stress enough that it's really weird that there's scripting stuff. Like, there's been times where I've, like, beaten a level, and then, you like, hit this button at the end of the level to signify that you've actually beaten it, and then I hit the button, and the level doesn't end, so I kind of, like, walk around for a while, and then after walking around for, like, 30 or 45 seconds, the level is just like, oh, you beat it, okay, goodbye. Like, you have to stand in a very specific spot to get it to trigger or something like that. It's unusual. You know, I don't know if it's a bug or if I'm just having a very strange experience here, but yeah. That being said, for all the negative stuff that I've mentioned so far, this is the end of the level here. For all the negative stuff that I've mentioned so far, or at least stuff that's negative to me, I think Super Comboman, it's got some good ideas. The like fighting game style beat 'em up. I don't know what that is, but it gave us some decent cash. The fighting game style beat 'em up mechanic is nice. I like that you're not just let me see if we can get the scripting error here maybe. Yeah, having it not just be a button masher and instead you actually have, like, you know, quarter circles or double taps or something like that you have to execute, it feels a little bit more engaging than just X, 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 Y, X, 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 Y, right? Like, it allows for a little bit more variety. I just don't think it's necessarily executed perfectly. The last thing I'll show off is that, you know, we have this combo store, and this is where you buy new moves and stuff like that. So, yeah, you know, I've got some dashes, and I already talked about the downwards kick. I haven't used Stomp. I really should. And you can also get perks. So these perks are things that you can only have 2 of them at a time, and you equip them to, like, certain combo thresholds. It's kind of like kill streaks in Call of Duty or something like that, where if you get X number of combo, or like an X size of combo, then you can have auto parry, which automatically parries incoming attacks. That seems super useful. So they do give you something to use your money on. And the moves that you get, they do seem very useful. And I don't believe you can actually use them without buying them. You can't just, like, look at it and be like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So yeah, I think that's really cool. Overall, though, like, the ideas, good. Moment-to-moment gameplay, a little bit mixed on. Again, Super Comboman is coming out on Steam today or tomorrow. I would recommend caution, you know, caveat emptor. It's not a bad game, and, you know, congratulations to the developer for releasing it. But I think there are other beat-em-ups I would recommend over this: Foul Play, Castle Crashers, Double Dragon Neon, you know, Battle Block Theater. If you haven't played that, it's not really a beat-em-up. But anyway, but yeah, if you like what you see, there is some good stuff here, but do keep in mind that you're going to be probably dealing with some frustrations as well. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, if you want to check out the game on Steam, click the link in the video description below to check it out. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future, and click the like button if you enjoyed the episode. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.